Hey there, Fibre Friends, long time no see. This is Sara, and I'm coming to you from my yarn lab after my kids have gone to sleep. And today, on the first day of the Tour De Fleece. So, just like when I started my YouTube channel, I'm going to try my darndest to get a YouTube video out every day that the tour rides and the spinners spin. This time around, they're not necessarily all going to be focused on my spinning directly, but more they're going to be discussions of the spinning projects that I'm working on and topics that you guys might have interest in as it pertains to spinning and the fiber arts. So let's go ahead and dive right in. You'll first of all notice that I'm wearing a hand knit and in fact hand spun sweater. This is probably something that I was working on the last time that you would have seen me on the YouTubes. This is the Nurtured sweater by Andrea and Mallory. I was trying to accomplish this as my Rhinebeck sweater from a Corriedale fleece that I purchased from a farm over in Saskatchewan. It's naturally dyed with tea and processed from fleece to sweater by yours truly in, I feel like I did the whole thing in just about a month's time. Didn't quite finish it in time for Rhinebeck because I ran out of yarn about an inch shy of the neck hem. But it turned out, I kind of wish it was a little bit bigger. If I'm being honest with myself, it's a bit snug and I'm not fully sold on cropped sweaters. But it's kind of cute and I wear it sometimes with overalls. Anyways, enough about this sweater. Although it is kind of part of my theme for Tour De Fleece this year in that I want to spin sweater projects for Tour De Fleece. And the first one that I have in mind is the Marled Mania Sweater by Stephen West. So if you're not familiar with the Marled Mania, it's a yoked sweater, very simple. The yoke in his sample is sort of a dark marled with a light, like a black marled with a white. And then the body and arms of the sweater are his signature crazy, grab all of the fingering weight in your stash and marl the crap out of your garment. I don't have a stash that is so full of individual bits and leftovers of fingering weight that would work together, nor do I trust my creativity to do it that way. But in other projects of Stephen's, for instance, the Marled Magic, they're all very confusing, name to name, but the Marled Magic shawl, which again, he recommended, go through your whole stash, make a giant pile on a color scheme and go to town. And I reinterpreted that as go through your spinning fibers, plan out each section, and marl by plying, or in the case of this project, by holding the two singles together. Because it's easier, and with much fewer ends to weave in, to create a section that looks like this, for instance, with spun fibers and a prep like a bat, for instance, in my opinion, than it would be for me to achieve this kind of marl by pulling individual skeins and matching them together throughout. So this is my hand-spun Marled Magic shawl, which I adore. If you go on my Ravelry page for this project, you'll see the details of each section, the yardage for each section, and where the fiber came from. And this is the inspiration behind my Marled Mania Sweater project that I have planned. So the first thing that I'm going to be spinning for Tour De Fleece is, just like when I did that project, which I actually did start the spinning during a tour, I'm going to be spinning a pile of black singles. This time I'm going to actually go ahead and ply my yarns together so that I'm not holding two singles while knitting. It's going to be plied and ready to go. So for the yoke on mine, one of the plies will be this black top. I feel like it's maybe merino, maybe not merino. I picked it up at Rhinebeck. Actually, I picked all the fiber for this sweater up at Rhinebeck last year. This came from the Ashford booth, and they had a big old wall of solid colored fiber, and I grabbed a bump of the black, for the yoke and the cuffs on this sweater. And this black is going to be marled, i.e. 2-plied with this bullseye bump from, these are the Loop Fiber Studio bumps. So prior to going to Rhinebeck, I had drooled over these many times over the last couple years, but never, fished up the desire enough to pay the shipping. But at Rhinebeck, I had it in my mind, this is what I wanted for this sweater. So for the yoke and the cuffs, it's going to be this bump here, and I don't know how well it's showing, but it is sort of a cloudy blue color alternating with a really soft gray color. So this is going to be the light and dark for the yokes of my cuff. I'm going to spin this bump directly as it plays out. So I'll be curious to see just how much of the blue versus how much of the gray you'll get in each section. I've never used these before, but they just feed into a fairly fine sliver top right out of the middle. And the contents of this one, it's 5 ounces, and this guy here is a blend of merino, bamboo, and silk. And I'm not too concerned about the fibers being different. We'll see how that works out in the full sweater. So these two will be the yoke and the sleeve cuffs for my sweater project. And I've already started spinning the black singles. So that's step 1 because it's the least exciting spinning. So I'm trying to get it out of the way at the beginning when my motivation is the highest to persevere through this Tour De Fleece spinning project. Sorry, this sweater rides up around the neck ridiculously. I think because I knew I was playing yarn chicken, I started cheating some of the decreases, and I'm regretting that in the finished project. So don't do that. Spin enough yarn and just knit the sweater according to the pattern. Anyways, I'm off topic. So the blue and the black marled for the yoke and the sleeve cuffs. For the body of the sweater, I purchased 2 more bumps, bullseye bumps from the Loop, and these ones are going to be a bit of a more complicated spin. So the first one here, and these are going to be, again, plied together for the marl effect. The first one here is this guy called Fortune Teller. It's 5.2 ounces, and it is merino, Angelina, and nylon. The Angelina is not super obvious, but that's all right. Anyways, this guy here kind of just alternates between a dark plum, a medium plum, and a hot pink. So this is going to be one of my singles. My second single here is this much more exciting bullseye bump. This one here is called Immortals, 5.5 ounces of the same blend, the Angelina, merino, and nylon. So working these two together, I want to see this color progression. So we've got a gray, a teal, a purple, an orange, a blue, a black, a maroon, the teal again, and a hot pink. I want this color progression to work down the body of my sweater as well as working down the sleeves of my sweater. So that's going to mean I'm going to need to take this bump apart completely. I'm going to use about a third to a half for the body, and then split the remaining part into 2 equal parts for each sleeve in order to try and get the full color progression down the body and down each sleeve. So this is going to be completely deconstructed, portioned out according to the colors, and then spun into a body portion and 2 sleeve portions. Theoretically, it will work out, and really might not have been the best choice to buy a bump for this because it's destroying the whole point of, just feeding out of the middle. But whatever, I love the colors and couldn't help it. This one here, originally I was thinking I would just say screw it and just spin it directly and let it play out how it plays out. But I'm a little bit too anal retentive about wanting things to match. I think it would really bother me to have, for instance, one sleeve feature a lot of the dark color but not the hot pink, whereas the other sleeve features mostly the hot pink and not the dark color. So I'm probably going to end up breaking this one down as well so that, again, you have a consistent color progression down the body, a consistent matching color progression down each sleeve. So, a lot of deconstruction on these two, spinning this one as is, and obviously the black, just spin in the black. Anyways, that's my game plan for embarking onto this year's Tour De Fleece. I don't focus on one project and stay on it very well, so please expect in a couple of days I'll be showing you the next sweater spin that I want to work on, but I'll be updating you on the progress of this one throughout. You can follow along on my Instagram at Yarn Lab to see my daily progression through this project, and like I said, I'm going to try crazy hard to get videos for Tour De Fleece up every day here on this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas for content that you would like to see from me over the course of Tour De Fleece, leave them in the comments below. And for now, happy spinning, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy weaving, happy experimenting with fiber, because after all, this is the Yarn Lab.